Skyzoo dropped a stellar effort Friday. It's called The Mind of a Saint. And, it was a 10-track album. And for the people who watch Snowfall, and you know what? I watched a couple of episodes of Snowfall. I haven't really gotten to the series like I need to, but I understand the theme, I understand the environment and what it's about, right? And so, first of all, shout out to Skyzoo for the quality album. The production's on point, the lyricism's on point, but the creative writing is something that I wish we could see a lot more of in hip hop just in general, and I don't want to take this as an opportunity to, you know, be Mike D on the set, but Jeezy dropped the album called Snowfall last year. That was actually named after the show itself. Whereas he kind of took the traditional approach and just, basically made songs with the title of something that people were familiar with. You have somebody like Skyzoo and a writer and as an MC and as a creative that took a concept and took that like to the next level where you take on characters of this show and you make a full length album from that perspective. As a Brooklyn MC taking on that West Coast perspective, I mean, I'm pretty sure you watched the show, right? You watch the show and you're able to take on those themes damn near as if you're writing a soundtrack for a show after the fact. I think that in itself was dope as hell, not to mention that the music in itself is dope. And I wish that we could see a lot more of that creative style of writing in hip hop.
I agree with most of your points and the sentiments that you made about the project. This is one of those albums that when I hear it, it disturbs me because I already know that it's probably not going to get the recognition or publicity or notoriety it deserved. I really found myself listening to this album and being very, very impressed with it on a few levels, a lot of which you already highlighted. And I say to myself, well, we just kind of pick our heroes to a degree, and that's why we kind of want people involved with our list and want to pull up a ranking and stuff. Because as much as it seems like a personal list, as we keep putting people through this matrix, it ain't seeming that personal, is it? When I look at somebody like a Skyzoo and he makes a wonderful project like this, I ask myself a couple questions like, A, is this the best thing he's ever made? And B, what has kept somebody like him, who is obviously conceptually brilliant? Because all the beautiful things is about the gentrification of Brooklyn too. So he knows how to pull off a concept album because this is back-to-back concept albums technically.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so he's lyrically proficient. You know what I'm saying? He's actually underrated as a hook writer. His production is usually stellar and underrated. Why isn't he more renowned than a bigger star would be my question to you, because, this album, much like all the brilliant things, is brilliant for the most part.
I think to answer your question, and I don't know the full answer because, I think there's two things. One, he's an independent artist. That's a big one. And I think number two, for the listener that hasn't already got into him, I think that it's that shadow of that 97 Hove sound that may be haunting him in that way.
See, this isn't even that to me. Can I tell you something? Like, when I hear Skyzoo, I hear somebody who really enjoyed like De La and Tribe's production choices, and he chooses that way. But the talk is a little bit grittier and more like, Brooklyn B-boy, New York state of mind-ish. And that's what I mean is that, like, well, when you listen to the things that I said, it's like, well, I say to myself, it's like, well, why isn't he bigger? Why doesn't his shit pop more? Because he does a lot of the things that as a hip-hop fan, you'd like your guys to do, like his beat selection. If you are a fan of like 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, like beat-wise hip-hop, like, he's one of the best, actually, people at it, like selecting a beat that kind of like evokes that imagery without sounding dated. The concepts are there, the lyrics are there, the songs are there. There's not any like big hit record on here that sometimes it's hard to do on a concept album.
People are saying RJ Payne did it already. Yeah, shout out to RJ Payne. He makes, great concept albums as well. But I feel like, man, if Joey Badass would have made this same effort, people would be ranting and raving about it like it's album of the year, as this should be heralded as. Because right now, This, you know what? I'm just gonna say this. This is the album to beat in 2023 right now. I know we're only like what 2-3 weeks in, but if we want to talk about an album to beat in 2023, here's the mark right here.
So this is the measuring stick, is what you're saying.
It is. This is the album to beat right now.
So with that measuring stick being stated, and I know we just about a month and a half, if not less, of doing our year in reviews, and so I think we want to. How about this? My goal for us is to get better at this every year, and I'm sure yours is too. And so the less that we have to like go back and reframe our ratings, I think we're finally in a place where we've got a good grasp on things because people understand a lot of what we're doing, Mike. Like we've been learning and putting our work and our time in on the fly week to week to give it to the people, and I think we've kind of got our legs underneath us. How are we rating this album to start this year?
That's a good question. Let me read some of these super chats, and I have some ideas, but right now we're just gonna have to measure it up to last year's rating system, really.
Okay.
36 Chambers with the super chat says, "Hope this isn't like Currency last year where he dropped a great project that got overshadowed later. Don't want Skyzoo to get lost at the end of the year due to the late year, recency bias. Hope this ages well." I think so too. I mean, I hope so too, and I think it will actually.
So here's what I'll submit to you. How about this? We gave Vince Staples a 4.2 for Ramona Park. Do you think this is better than Ramona Park?
I do. I think this is better than Ramona Park.
I think you might be right, but I don't think it's by a lot, though.
Yeah.
So I would tell you that I would give this album a 4.3 if we're going based off of, you know what I'm saying?
Based off of last year? What were the 4.3s at? Like, what was JID's?
Yeah, hold on. I'm pulling it up right now.
DeCarlo, he's bringing receipts. DeCarlo says, "Lose Yourself. My Name Is. The Real Slim Shady. Superman. Stan are all in rotation." And y'all talking about bling bling. Nobody plays bling bling. I promise you. Like, are you really heralding yourself on My Name Is and The Real Slim Shady?
First of all, nobody's playing those records. We're from the South, and I'll tell you what, Cash Money is an army. Bling Bling, Back That Ass Up, Ha, Number One Stunner, The Block. No. Those records still get played down here, fam. So
But again,
that's
man,
the old stuff.
I'm
just bringing up the Cash Money stuff to let you know how long he been in the game.
Wayne doesn't even need those records.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you don't even want me to start like just bringing out like the cannons. Like how about this? Like,
do you want to bring out the Amelies?
What M got for 6 foot, 7 foot, 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot? Like Wayne going ballistic on there. What he got for She Will with Drake on the hook? You know what I'm saying? Like we can go to some of the later stuff. You don't want to do that Carter 2, that Carter 3 shit. What about Go DJ? Yeah. You feel me?
Rich as Fuck still gets played. Never talk to the cops. I don't speak pig.
They still playing Duffel Bag Boy down here. He just
to a motherfucking Jan Jackson. No, listen. Nobody wants to hear The Real Slim Shady and even Superman over Rich as Fuck. Let's be real.
So this is what I'll tell you. See, Mike, this is what I mean about how we tightened up last year. We gave the Black Thought a 4.3. We gave the Freddie a 4.5. Black Star got a 4.2. Do you think this is better than the Black Star?
It's not. How did we give Ramona Park? What did we give Ramona Park then?
That's my fault. I was looking at the wrong list. I wasn't looking at us updating the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do.
How about this? We gave West Side Gun a 4. Do you think this is better than the West Side?
I do.
Okay. So we gave the we gave the Joey, we gave the Che Noir 4.1.
I think this is in that territory, honestly.
Okay. So I think a fair way to start this year is to give this a 4.1, maybe 4.2.
Okay.
You don't think it's better than the Black Star, so I would say 4.1 is where we should probably rate this to start the year then. If we're being consistent and kind of like building out a formula that's proper.
I'm going to let some time pass before I say anything about comparing it to the Black Star, but it's very impressive. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you this, I enjoyed the beats on here more than I enjoyed the beats on the Black Star album. That's why I'm willing to say kind of like
about end-to-end, lyricism, hook writing, production, concept, It's not a crazy thought to think that it's better. You know what I mean? It's just
No. If we're giving Black Star a 4.2 and giving it a 4.1, let's see how it holds and if it doesn't go up or down. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I think that's a good place for it because I think it's food for thoughtish to me and its consistency and in its concept.
Exactly. Esquire with the super chat says, I have X over Cole overall, but they're not tied lyrically. Cole is more of a proven storyteller over time, but if you disagree, the gap between them, bar for bar, is much smaller than the storytelling gap. Okay. Esquire also says, Cole has 16 years of heat as a storyteller, dating back to the come up. Rags to Riches, I Got It, Two-Face, Too Deep for the intro, Wet Dreams, Runaway Killer. Yeah, you know what? I'll give him that. You know, and I can see that from a longevity standpoint.
Still not enough.
From
it's
a
not enough. You're
longevity
talking about one
standpoint,
category. That's not enough to fade X, but I hear you.
But I mean, that one category, if we did give that to Cole, he still didn't beat him, right?
Okay, so let's go again to Cole and X. Impact, X, right? Live performance, X.
Yeah.
Lyric storytelling, let's just give that to Cole all the way. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's just give that to Cole all the way. Classic album songs, well, that's X. Longevity of album songs, X. Classic collaborations, X. Career longevity quality, Cole. Voice, X. He's winning 2. That's what I'm saying. It's not even like he won 2 now instead of winning 1.5. Are you happy?
Jay Short with the super chat says, if you guys talk about it, people will recognize there are people who are watching you guys who don't follow the channel. You guys got the industry shook.
Oh yeah, all the time. They literally won't hit click, like, and subscribe because that would mean they would be down with our movement. And
and for the people who are down with
would mean a lot of y'all's demise. So it's like I get it.
And for the people who are down with the movement, click subscribe, and the bell icon so you know when we're going on live. Better Code with the super chat says it's lyrically better than Ramona, but not musically. Okay.
That's why I thought Ramona was good. We ended up giving Ramona a 4, but musically I felt it was comparable to Ramona. Like Fam said. Yeah.
Uncle Fran with the super chat says, Coop, your description about Skyzoo is on point. His favorite rappers are Jay-Z and Mos Def.
I can see that. Even when he made the Maumi told me comment, I was like, oh yeah, that's that Brooklyn in him.
Yeah. Jay Short with the super chat says, Eminem songs are in heavy rotation on old school hip hop and R&B stations. They also play Timberlake, Bruno, Christina Aguilera, and Jay-Z/Linkin Park encore remix consistently. But I digress. Well, you know what? Again, those quote-unquote old school hip-hop and R&B stations, again, are catalog money grabs. Hip-hop stations that were actually around during the era when Eminem was putting out that music as new music were not playing those songs. And that's just the God-honest truth. They're going back retroactively and playing those records. The only record that I actually heard on urban radio, and maybe that's just Atlanta, I'm not sure, or at least in the Southeast, because I was all around the Southeast in the 2000s. I heard them play The Real Slim Shady for a bit, but that was about it. Hi, My Name Is was not being played on any urban radio station. The only other record that he was a part of that was played on urban radio was Forgot About Dre. But other than that,
I was about to say, I heard The Way I Am on radio in Greensboro and Forgot About Dre a ton.
Okay.
A ton.
Yeah, but after
The Way I Am and Forgot About Dre. Yeah.
After the promotion was over, I mean, I was hearing his records mostly on CHR stations, which is contemporary hit radio stations. It wasn't on hip-hop urban stations.
Right. No. The hip-hop stations in Greensboro played The Way I Am and Forgot About Dre. I do remember that, though.
And even when I worked in radio... But also,
too, Mike, I'll be 42 this year. That's when I was like 19.
Yeah, 20. And even when I worked in radio, Superman did get some play, too. Even when I worked in radio...
Dope. Superman's dope, Mike.
It is dope. I like Superman.
I like Superman.
But yeah, when I was in radio from 2001 to 03 or whatever, I remember those set sheets. And, and that's supposed to be his prime. Now, when 50 came, all of that nigga shit was in rotation. And that's just real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, all of his shit was in rotation.
Like 50 man, like, In the Club was playing.
Yeah.
21 Questions was playing.
Wankster was playing.
PIMP was playing.
Man. Even the record that he had with the Biggie on there, that B.I.G. my nigga, that was in rotation.
Yeah. He had all types of stuff in rotation.
Everything. So yeah, it's not I guess people, I know young folks don't listen to the radio anyway, but if young people do decide to tap into these old school hip hop stations, it's not really an indication of what was being played back then.
It's really not, because I tell you what, this is what I mean is it's like, well, how often do you hear Me, Myself, and I or Award Tour on those stations? Like even the fun loving, like you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like they don't be playing that shit.
You don't.
It's like how often do you hear What They Do by The Roots on there?
Exactly.
Or how often do they play Microphone Fiend by Rakim? Or how often do they play South Bronx? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How often do they play Mona Lisa? It's like, I don't know about those stations.
And honestly,
I be wanting to hear
No
the Ledge on the hip hop station. Sometimes Sip the Juice. I got enough to go around. I be wanting to hear that like on a real hip hop radio station. So it's like when I don't get that, I be like, oh, y'all corny too.
And you know what? And I'm gonna be balanced too. Like Juicy, when it came out, it was getting played, but they moved on to the next Biggie song. Like, you know what I mean? Like One More Chance was the record that they couldn't stop playing, and they kept moving on to his shit as he kept making more stuff. They didn't play Juicy as much then as they do now. I'll put it like that.
They didn't. It's just a fact.
Yeah, actually, because both of these records were out at the same time, Flavor in Your Ear got more play than Juicy, and that's just
Flavor.
the truth.
Flavor in Your Ear is a better record than Juicy. Actually.
It is. Yeah,
it is.
That's
Beats
why
better.
the super chat says I literally said that I could have X over Cole overall. Cole has a larger volume of fire stories. Meant to say bar for bar, the gap is just much larger than the storytelling gap.
Oh, my bad, Esquire. Esquire be knowing this stuff and dropping some knowledge.
Yeah. 36 Chamber says, see how we get to Skyzoo and M stands can't let it go still. He's not an MC, even if he is lyrically nice. He hasn't even responded to the game yet. Shaking my head. You know what? We're almost a year past that record coming out and still no response.
Very problematic, and we're not almost a year. That was this past summer. It's wild.
We'll make it a year. He's not going to respond. And you know what? I sat here on this microphone and told you guys he wasn't responding. People are, oh man, he's going to kill him. He's going to do this. I was like, he's not going to respond. Because he knows 300 bars is right around the corner. It's kind of fraudulent in my opinion, but hey, it's just my opinion.
Let's just put him through the list on Friday.
All right, well, I guess it's time to get up out of here, right? It's 8 o'clock. Yeah, Skyzoo dropped a stellar effort. I'm looking forward to Friday. We could put some more people through the list. Billboard dropped another bogus list, looks like. But hey, we'll wait for their, 30 to 21 list. Dr. Dre at 40? What the hell?
They know not what they do.
Yeah. All right.
But they are cheap.
Peace to everybody in the chat, man, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, the bell icon, so you know when we going live, and tell a friend.
Hey, you want to know
what,
Mike? I had somebody actually tell me, they were like, "Hey, I love y'all show." They was like, "You got to tell people to like and subscribe."
Yeah, we don't do that enough.
They told me they're like, that is a science, Coop. Like that is a science.
Yeah, we don't do that enough. We just get caught up in our conversations and we just go.
Right.
And yeah, if somebody want to advertise with, A2HH Live, shit, hit us at the info@accordingtohiphop.com. And we might run a commercial of yours throughout the show. We need to talk about those things more too. Shit, we need some sponsors.
The people that I'm trying to interview this year, Mike, and I've actually already got some people lined up, is to kind of like build out our network a little bit more so that the sponsors understand that although we're a hip hop podcast, you and I are intelligent enough and like versatile enough to kind of like delve into other forays.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that so is our clientele and the people who follow this show. These are all working class people like you and I who work hard, educated, intelligent, love music, but can have a discourse about a number of other things. When people ain't just straight playing the dozens in the chat, there's actually some intelligent rhetoric going on. So we just want to start bringing some things full circle. So,
that happens too. It's all entertaining.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Like and subscribe. We got.